All right, we got Jacob O'Connor here in the new studio in Clarion, Iowa.
It's a dope look.
We're gonna talk about we had a huge weekend in Iowa State athletics for basketball, and I already said kind of my thoughts. So what's Jacob O'Connor's thoughts?
Well, the biggest thing is I think we can say that there's a little bit of fire in the Hilton Magic area because it was dead after this last basketball season. I mean, it honestly wouldn't even bother me if I missed a game last year to watch because it was just a waste of my time. I didn't miss a game, but
You went to the last Deep Rome game, Texas.
I did.
Yeah, you couldn't pay me $1,000 to go to that game.
Well, I got free tickets. That's the only reason I was there. But it was just dead. I mean, you're in Hilton Coliseum.
Yeah, explain that. I wasn't there. I didn't watch the game. It was my brother had a game, sub-state game that day.
With COVID, there wasn't a ton of fans, but they had the 1,000 tickets. I wouldn't even say 500 people were there.
Really?
Yeah. And everyone was mad. We were terrible. The effort. A lot of people said there was effort. I didn't see much, but
we were done by then.
It was over.
Anyways, yeah.
The old people, your old faithful people are getting pissed at everybody. It's good. Fresh new look for this coming season. So that's big. Hilton Magic, I can hopefully say, is back. We need to get back to
just not back, but like on the road, back on the tracks to get back.
It's a lot. We're not derailed on the train tracks anymore.
I think this weekend was the biggest weekend of Iowa State basketball, and since since we beat DePaul like 2 Decembers ago.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that long ago.
Yeah, it's been a long time. And with how good it was looking for a while, I don't know, 2-3 years ago, how promising it was looking to where we're at last year.
Ever since we were at me and you went to the Tulsa game. You drug me to the Tulsa game.
We did. Made the trip. And it was a fun trip, but
it was sad.
A disappointing game.
Looking back on that team, I just feel like we need to get back to there's fun players on that team, and that's why Hilton.
Yes.
We totally lost that ever since Tyrese broke his wrist.
Yeah.
Things have gone downhill. But we got a new regime in. We got Caleb Grill is coming back. I think he'll be all right. He'll be a fan favorite. As long as he can come off the bench and hit some threes.
Yes.
He'll be a fan favorite.
That will be nice. He can come off the bench. He hopefully finds his shot. He still really hasn't in the college game. He shot better at UNLV than he did at Iowa State.
Yeah.
But, he's shooting 30. I think it was 32% last year.
Yeah, but he actually had a huge role against UNLV, which he kind of was playing too much. But I think...
Well, they were so young, he had to.
Yeah, I think since we got that Gabe can't transfer from Minnesota, I feel like that puts a lot less pressure on
Gabe Kalsher. Yeah, I think if he finds the right role, for sure, he'll be a big piece off the bench, which is nice because we haven't had that shooter coming off the bench in a while. We've had potential ones.
I can't even think. Ever since the Lindell and Cam coming off the bench, we really haven't had any bench presence at all.
No. Lindell is our best bench player, and that was his sophomore year, which would have been 2 years ago, 3?
2 years ago, yeah.
2 years ago, yeah.
Which, honestly, doesn't feel that, it feels like 100 years ago, but honestly, it's not that long ago.
No, it's not.
People say how Iowa State basketball fell off a cliff. I think this weekend shows it doesn't take that much to flip things.
No, that's correct. Especially with the new transfer rule.
Yeah.
There's no harm in leaving a school for the player, which is awesome for the players.
It used to be demonized. Now it's
correct.
Just
and now it's go for it.
If you're
find a better place.
If you're not playing the exact minutes you want, you bounce.
Yep. And I heard his stat. It was I think there was 1,300 players in the transfer portal this year.
Really?
Yeah. There's 300 schools or something like that. It averaged out to be 3 or 4 players from each school
Yeah.
entered the transfer portal. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's insane. I feel like you should have at this point, like you have your high school recruiters, and then you have the people you probably should have on staff to look for people in the transfer portal.
Correct.
That should be like a full-time job.
Yes.
Which is
because it's changing all the time. I mean, there's people leaving every day.
Yeah.
Especially like you'll have people leave right after the season and they'll wait a few days. Like,
did you see Texas Tech just lost like both their starting guards?
Yeah, McClung, he entered the transfer portal, but he said he's focusing on the draft mostly, which he can still come back to Texas Tech.
No, he said he's declared, and if he comes back, he's in the transfer portal.
Oh.
That's what he said.
Wow. That'd be tough.
So, like, Texas Tech just fell off a cliff.
Think he goes to Texas?
I feel bad kind of for Texas Tech because, like, they were my second favorite Big 12 team. Like, they're, like, the closest thing to – they took our spot. Like, Prom drug us into the ground, and they took our spot in the Big 12.
Yes, they did.
I like Chris Beard. I thought he should have been the hire to begin with when Steve got hired, but what he did to Texas Tech kind of did them dirty. Took them
Correct, but that's exactly why I didn't want him there. Because I mean, because he was never satisfied with Texas Tech. I mean, he took him to the final.
He was
championship
2 plays
games
away from a championship.
Yeah, and he was that easy to walk away.
No, he's getting paid more than the football coach.
Correct. But
he honestly probably just handed him a blank check, and then this is probably that's what Texas probably did.
It's true. I mean, money talks. Money talks.
Yeah,
money's everything in this world. Which sucks.
Having a coach that doesn't really care about money, and Coach Campbell is pretty sick.
It's awesome. Yes, that's who we have to find, and hopefully TJ's that guy, which I feel like he is.
He should have been the guy to begin with.
Correct.
I think, and probably the biggest news by far, Tyrese Hunter recommitted to Iowa State.
Big news.
I think he'll be like a
true point
guard. He can. This year will probably be a transition year. I think if we get the last 2 spots, there's a Kentucky transfer out there and a Kansas transfer out there. If they come to Iowa State, I think if everything falls in line, we'll be a borderline tournament team. That's how quickly.
I think we're a borderline tournament team as we speak right now. I might have a little too high of hopes.
Yeah, like we might jumping to conclusions because we finally have a glimpse of hope, and we're just
that might be the issue.
Jumping on, but I think we're biased because like we know the power of Hilton, and if it's used correctly, we can literally go win out in Hilton, and and you just have to win a couple road games at that point, and then you're in the tournament.
Correct, and especially looking at the Big 12, I mean, I'm just taking a wild guess. Tech's going to be down.
Texas Tech and Oklahoma.
Both of those are going to be down. I think Texas will be down too. It will take Chris Beard because I haven't seen them get any transfers. Jericho Sims is gone.
I don't know. I haven't really looked at that closely.
But I don't know. I feel like the Big 12, I mean, they're definitely not going to be down because Baylor's still there.
Yeah, Baylor's Baylor.
But I think we're a borderline tournament team as we speak right now. If we had a few more pieces, I think we are for sure
like
tournament
the
team.
2 Kansas and Kentucky guys would be icing on the cake.
Yes.
Which would be awesome. Because like I saw videos of this Kentucky guy. I can't remember his name, but he looked insane. Good. He averaged only 2 points a game, but like it's Kentucky, and he's a 5-star recruit, I think, and he would be sick.
Yeah. The thing I do like about what TJ's doing is, like he said when he got in his opening press conference, he was gonna attack the Midwest.
Yeah, and Kentucky guy's from St. Louis.
Exactly what he's doing.
Yeah,
I mean, the transfer from Denver, he's originally from Minnesota. The Minnesota transfer, he's from Minnesota. Caleb Grill is coming back to the Midwest.
Yeah.
The Washington State, he's from
Tyrese Hunter, Wisconsin.
Correct. I mean, he's just hammering the Midwest. And as you've seen in the NCAA tournament, the Midwest has talent.
Yeah.
I mean, Gonzaga,
Wisconsin's good. Yeah, Suggs. Originally,
Minnesota.
Suggs' first scholarship was from Paul Rhodes to play football at Iowa State. Did you know that?
No, that's crazy.
Quarterback, yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, but no, there's talent in the Midwest, and exactly what TJ said he was going to do, he's doing. So that's awesome.
And yeah. So moving on. What do you think our starting five will be next year?
See, that's tough. I don't know much about the Washington State transfer.
He can shoot.
Yeah,
He's a good
like
shot.
a power forward with a shot.
Yeah.
If I had to take a
6'8"
guess,
guy.
yeah. But point guard would be Hunter.
Tyrese Hunter. Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, even if we get if we even get half of what Monte did his first year at Iowa State,
yeah,
if we could just get half of it, I'm not even asking.
He broke the record for turnovers,
yeah.
assist to turnover ratio his first year.
If we can just get half of that,
Yeah.
I mean that's still a tall task. Don't get me wrong.
I'll just say just get what Lindell did his first year.
Correct. And if we can get that from a freshman point guard, that's good.
If not better.
If we can get Gabe, I mean, he's coming off of a wrist injury on his shooting hand, which is going to be
he's there for 2 years, which will
tough.
Awesome.
Correct. But I would say him probably at the 2. 3.
I think the third guy is not even on the roster yet.
I would say that too.
I hope. But I'd say Javon Johnson, but he's very hot and cold.
Correct.
But it's hard to some of these players, a player in a bad culture without a crowd of Hilton, it's hard to knock them.
Correct. Yes. It is.
And they didn't have a off season last year.
Yeah.
So I think Javon Johnson showed signs. So I think if everything clicks, I think he could be the guy for third guy. But I'm hoping that a transfer comes in and takes that third spot. The small forward.
But then power forward, I would go with the Washington State transfer. Just he'll spread the court, and I'm hoping we can just get back to just shooting the lights out of the ball.
Just fun basketball.
Yeah, fun to watch. Get the crowd into it. Let's run up and down the court and just throw up points. Yeah. I mean, defense, we still need to be solid, but the biggest thing, let's just shoot the ball.
Let's just be exciting. The ugliest thing about last year is we could not shoot. Even when we did, we lost. We scored 16 threes against Oklahoma at Oklahoma. 2 away from the school record and lost by 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
last year
will be Caleb Grill coming off the bench, I think.
That'd be nice. And then to stick with the starting 5, I'd say at center, if Xavier Foster's foot injury, his surgery, whatever, he sat out. He obviously wants to stick around Ames. Otherwise, he would have transferred because he obviously has the opportunity to. But I feel like he's a solid 7'2", 7'1", 7'2".
Yeah, he's 7 foot.
Yeah.
Can shoot it.
Yeah, so that's pretty solid if we can find that 3.
Yeah.
That's the biggest key right now. I mean, and even if you have to work with what we got, I mean, it's still pretty solid.
Yeah, I think Foster will be the guy. I think something about Steve, he'd always Solomon, he would play Solomon, run through Solomon. And I think hopefully TJ, I don't really know, I haven't seen TJ's coaching style, but hopefully he plays the younger guys so he can develop some players.
Yeah.
That's why I think Jaden Walker showed some signs. I think he'll be good.
Yes, he will.
He'll be a good backup to Tyrese Hunter.
Yeah. And I think that's he was obviously a true freshman last year. But pressure situations, he kind of struggled in.
Yeah.
And, he's a freshman, and it honestly might happen to the freshman coming in, but I don't know.
That's the thing about Monte's freshman year. He had freaking DeAndre Kane.
Yeah, it's true.
And he had Bolton, who was not playing out of position.
Yeah.
So, we didn't really touch on that. I forgot we haven't touched on Bolton leaving.
Oh, true.
He did state in his thing that was kind of weird how when in his Twitter post or Instagram post, he tweeted, "Every decision is not ours to make." So I think he was showed the door by the coaching staff.
I agree. I would never have guessed it. I thought that if anyone was going to stick around, it was going to be him. I feel like he wanted to stick around.
Yeah, he did a post after the season.
Yes.
Even after when Prom got fired, he said how he wants to stay and bring Hilton back or whatever.
Correct. Everything's just going to be rumors and speculations, but from what I've heard, that I don't think it meshed with him and TJ. Obviously not everyone's going to mesh with everybody. They obviously tried. They obviously talked because he didn't leave the first week. Obviously, he might not have wanted to leave, but I think it was in the best interest of the team.
Both parties, I think.
Correct.
And
and that's the thing is, he's your point guard, kind of shooting guard, kind of.
It's a player who was didn't really make sense to me. He was really athletic.
Yeah.
But wasn't the best defender.
No. And that's a guy I would like coming off the bench.
Yeah.
But I don't think he would want to come off the bench.
He was just put in weird situations over and over again. Tyrese got hurt. He get thrown in the point guard position. For whatever reason, Steve didn't find a point guard for the next year. Bolton.
Yeah, that's thrown into it. And obviously, he's not a true point guard.
No. I don't know.
He can find his own shot, which is awesome. If he needs to go get a bucket, I'd say 80% of the time he can do that for you. But he is going to turn over the ball a lot, and we saw that last year. He turns the ball over.
It's hard to knock a guy who was not playing his position.
Correct. That definitely wasn't the situation that he would be his best self in, and it's tough. But
if he finds the right coach and place, he'll succeed.
Correct, for sure.
It's kind of a bummer that didn't work out, but I feel like my attitude on things were we need to just control alt delete the program.
Correct.
After that, we played the last game, Oklahoma. We put up a good fight, but I was just I'm just so done with everything.
Yep. Let's get a clean slate and
I think
work from
TJ's done that, and I like the players. The players he's getting, it actually looks like they're gonna fit.
Yeah. Because even if you're just looking at the current roster, Blake Hinson, we still haven't even seen him in an Iowa State uniform yet.
Yeah, which he had a heart condition, and if he is as good as his highlights from Old Miss, I think he'll be a good get.
Yes.
He'll be him and the Washington State guy are probably fighting over the 4 spot.
Yeah, for sure. In either one of them, they both got experience. I'd say they're both pretty
Power 5 experience.
Yeah, they're both pretty talented. And then you got Trey Jackson, be a junior coming off the bench.
He'll still be a sophomore.
He will. Yeah. Oh yeah, because of the COVID. Yeah. And then you got Condit. Solid tall guy off the bench.
If we can just get freshman Condit back somehow.
Well, if he can just find what he was doing then.
Yeah. I'm not sure what happened.
I honestly don't think he was getting pushed with Steve.
Yeah.
I don't think he was.
At the very end of the year, he finally showed some life.
Yes.
But yeah.
The beginning half, it was what are we doing? But then you got, Xavier Foster and George Condit, 7 foot and 6'10". Those are 2 tall guys that both have. Xavier doesn't have a lot of experience, but they showed signs.
Yeah, Xavier has the highest ceiling. Him and Tyrese Hunter are probably the highest ceiling on the team.
Yes.
Which is nice because they'll both be freshmen next year.
Yep.
Hopefully start. And it should be exciting. I think the last weekend I got really excited because we've been at the bottom and we find that weekend's wow.
Yeah,
we're back to Iowa State basketball. Yes. I think. Yeah,
there was no hope for the longest time.
Yeah.
At all. You get TJ, which everyone thought that was going to happen. So it wasn't a huge shock when he did get hired. But then the moves he's made right away. I
Yeah.
mean, it's crazy. So, I mean, there's hope. I'm going to say that Hilton Magic is
Like if we get the Kentucky guy and Kansas guy, like
back.
we're gonna like. I'm to the point where like I'm gonna buy season tickets. Like before then, like I was
I
like,
could care less. Yeah, I'm not
the
wasting.
last game I went to was the Iowa game, and I left. I was like the second person to leave Hilton. It was like 13 minutes left in the second half.
Yeah,
and I got back to Clarion and the game was still going on.
Yeah,
to put that in perspective, it's an hour.
Yeah,
it was ugly.
It was tough. I mean, I went to 2 games. I went to the Texas game and I went to the Texas Tech game. And
this year?
This year, yep.
Yeah.
And they were both awful. Awful.
Yeah. It's brutal in all the way.
I mean, Texas Tech game, that was over at Hilton. It was over before the tip even started.
That was like the 4th or 5th largest loss in Hilton
it was awful.
history.
It was awful.
Yeah.
But I mean,
anyways, checking on NBA. I haven't really watched NBA at all this year. I don't know why. I've had zero interest in it, but I just looked up the stats to get check in on them. Taylor Horton-Tucker, 8.5 points.
Just out there killing it.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Killing it for the Lakers. I mean, they're injured right now. The Lakers. I mean, it was just 2 nights ago they were playing the Nets and just killed the Nets without LeBron, without Kuzma and AD, and Taylor he got the start against the Nets and I put up double digits.
Really?
Yeah,
Taylor and Tyrese have been killing it.
Yeah. I mean, they said what is it, Frank Vogel? Is that
that's
Lakers head coach? Yeah. He's like, my new secret weapon coming off the bench is Taylor. I mean, just solid point guard that's not afraid of anything. Not the tallest, but he'll go get you a bucket if you need him to.
That's one player that, like, he'll be one of the best players to ever play in the NBA as an Iowa State player, and it just sucks how that year went.
Yes,
how it is. Wasted Tyrese
and Taylor. Yes.
And Shayok. And Cam.
Cam was Well, I mean, compared to Cam was pretty good. He was
Cam was awesome.
Guy. Okay. We can agree to disagree.
No,
he was good, but
no. Okay, if he had a better coach who wasn't
fair.
Like trying to life coach him the whole time and just let him play.
Yeah, fair. I'll agree with that.
He's one of the most talented post players ever a lifetime.
Sure. We can agree. We'll agree on that one. He was talented. Don't get me wrong, but he had other issues.
Yeah, I mean,
and obviously you can't just avoid those other issues.
We don't know what they were.
Correct,
but
there was obvious
as
issues.
A fan, it's like, come on, put him out there. Monte, he's been hurt. He's back though. He's averaging 10 points and 3 assists. Nader is on the Suns, and the Suns are killing it,
which is crazy. Whoever thought the Suns would ever be back?
Which I think it's the power of Chris Paul. Chris Paul is probably one of the most underrated point guards.
Well, yeah, he's a stud. But I mean, Nader, he's
a player that I did not think was going to play in the NBA, and then he's just like.
Well, I mean, his first year he got G League Player of the Year.
Yeah, and then went to the Celtics.
Had a solid 2 years there. 2 years.
I'm not sure.
And then he got traded to OKC.
And he
kind of
balled out there, yeah.
Yeah. But then he kind of went under the radar his second season. Then he got traded to the Suns.
Got traded to the Suns with Chris Paul's thing.
Yeah, with Chris Paul's deal, yes. And
he's
a solid role player.
Making a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, Monte just got an extension too with Denver.
Yeah. Monte, who came into Iowa State 145 pounds.
Yep.
Player of the Year, or Mr. Basketball of Michigan.
Yes. Flint, Michigan.
Picked us. He wasn't going to go to Michigan. If there's one player on his AU team who Michigan offered him 10 minutes before Monte, and that guy committed.
Oh, really?
Otherwise, Monte was going to Michigan.
Wow, that would have sucked.
Yeah.
But
then we got Niang, 5.5 points for the Jazz, the Jazz are really good.
He's just a 3-point specialist, corner 3.
Yeah, he's a locker room
He's shooting
guy.
it just walk to the other end because it's going in.
Locker room guy too.
Yes.
Matt Thomas joined him.
Yeah.
He's averaging 3 points a game.
Which is crazy. The only reason he got traded is because they were trying to get rid of Lowry.
Yeah.
And then they didn't even get that done. Toronto didn't. So it was obviously a loss for Toronto. But I'd say it's a pretty solid pickup for the Jazz.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't play a ton, which is kind of
shoot.
surprising to me.
He can shoot.
Yeah, he's a shooter.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Iowa State basketball in the NBA, it's always a thing. And and then we haven't even talked about Tyrese.
Yeah. Tyrese averaging 13 points, 3 rebounds, and 5 assists.
Rookie of the year, maybe.
Could be rookie of the year.
Maybe. It's going to be between him, Edwards, and then Ball, but Ball's injured out for the rest of the year, so that's but then Edwards is balling too, but I mean Tyrese
killing it
over there in Sacramento.
He's and people in the NBA love him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't hate him.
Yeah, he's so likable.
Yeah. I mean, his energy is just positive 24/7. He's going to ball out every night. He's going to give you 100%. He's not ever going to take a game off. It's crazy that he was thinking about redshirting his freshman year at Iowa State.
Yeah.
And then who got injured?
No. Oh, Lindell got hurt.
Yes.
And then
that's why
second game, and then Tyrese came and just killed it.
Yeah.
And then Lindell didn't start the rest of the year.
Yeah. It's just nuts that he was going to redshirt, and then he goes to the next year being a 13th overall pick?
Yeah. Which
was crazy that he dropped that.
As a Warriors fan, like, how the hell do we let him go?
Yeah, well, you needed the center.
No, we don't.
No, but that's beside the point. I mean, he dropped. He should have been picked way before.
They knew that Clay was out, and they needed a 2. And
yeah.
Tyrese would have been perfect with Steph.
Well, I don't like the Warriors, so I'm glad they did what they did. But
the Kings.
Yeah, the Kings. He can be the face of the Kings.
I know, but like the Kings, really, come on.
Oh. He can be the face of the Kings.
I know, but they're never. Even if they're really good, they won't be like respected by the national media because the national media picks and chooses.
True.
Because like the Spurs were one of the best franchises ever, like over a lifetime. Like they won 5 titles and like.
Yeah, they were
never. Really
they're not a
about.
Big marketplace. I mean, they're never going to get the media headlines just because they don't bring in the
money.
Headlines, they don't bring in. Yeah,
because they weren't very controversial.
Well, yeah, it's true.
That's why they were so good. Yep, and I guess we haven't really talked about the Baylor win against Gonzaga. They just
Big
owned
12.
them. They just.
I wasn't even close.
Guards are so much quicker than the other Gonzaga.
Gosh, they're so good.
There was, I really don't like Baylor as a school, but like Scott Drew, I got a soft spot for Scott Drew.
He's so likable. I mean, he's done it the right way the entire time. He's gone through a lot at Baylor. He's turned that program literally
to national power.
Crazy. They were awful.
Yeah.
Just awful when he got there.
Yeah. And he mentioned in his press conference how they're going to win a national championship. Yeah. I'm sure people in that room were like laughing at him.
Yeah. But like, let's just win a couple of conference games. That'd be crazy. Yeah. I mean, it took a while. I mean, he was bad for 3 years.
And Iowa State, Fred owned him.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yep. I mean, they've
had some good players. They had Quincy Acey, Perry Jones III. Who's that 55 guy? That little point guard.
I couldn't tell you.
Jackson.
Maybe.
I think. He was good.
But no, the national title, that was over in 2 minutes.
Yeah, I bet on Baylor to win it all before the tournament started.
Did you?
Got me a solid $25.
Wow, big bet. Big bet over there.
5 to win 25.
Big bet.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Zags, they really didn't have to play anybody.
And the Timmy guy with the mustache.
He's a baller.
He was a baller, but his mustache isn't so cute when he's getting his ass kicked.
What if he still played well in the title game? It was Suggs that struggled.
Yeah.
But Suggs carried him all the way to the title game.
When you come off a high of making a shot like that.
Yeah. I mean, everyone predicted it. I could not believe that Baylor was 4.5 underdogs going into that game.
Yeah.
I mean, I am biased because I like the Big 12, but just hammer.
We were up 17 points at Baylor once. We were
the closest game Baylor played all year.
Yeah.
Other than when they lost.
We should hang a banner.
We should. Closest. We had
make T-shirts.
Best effort, but no, it was. They killed it. The Big Ten sucked.
Yeah.
Big Ten sucked
like
in
usual.
The tournament. Frauds.
The streak continues. They still haven't won since 1999.
They are frauds, and I'll continue to say they're frauds. Yeah, I hate.
Yeah, we've already talked about Iowa getting their butts kicked.
Hate the Big Ten. My dad is a huge Hawks fan.
Really?
And I love it because
I think Oregon just dunked on them one more time.
Yeah,
72 points in the first 22 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, Illinois gets upset. Iowa got upset.
Michigan
lost to UCLA.
Yeah.
Which UCLA was Pac-12 was
underrated. Yeah,
surprisingly good in the tournament.
Where'd that come from?
Nobody has faith in the Pac-12.
They haven't done anything in a long time.
Which why would you?
Yeah.
Why would you? I mean,
Oregon was good.
Yeah,
they were playing Iowa, but like
they played very well against Iowa. They
could have played better.
They shot the heck out of a ball, and it was surprising.
It was music.
I mean, a lot of people predicted that upset. A lot of people said Oregon was going to beat Iowa. So I mean, it wasn't a shock to anybody but the Iowa fans, just because they thought they were a national title.
Yeah,
I mean, Garza stud, but jeez, oh Pete. Did you see?
Yeah, Garza is one of the best ever, but like in Iowa history, but.
Yeah.
Just like to think the players at Iowa State, if they would have stayed one more year. Like Royce, if he'd have stayed one more year. If Marcus Fizer would have stayed one more year.
Yeah. Crazy chances.
If Tyrese stayed 4 years.
Yeah.
Taylor Horn-Tucker.
But that's never going to happen in the NCAA basketball.
Unless they get paid to do it.
But still, I mean, they can leave now. They don't even have to go to college. They can go to the G League and get paid right out the gates.
As soon as that gets more sexy somehow. But everything's backed on NCAA. Like if Jalen Suggs went to the G League, you really think he regrets it and he makes that shot?
No. He doesn't regret it. No.
Yeah. That's you can't take that away.
You can't. Yeah, the NCAA tournament. That's the only reason people are still coming back, or not coming back, but going to the college. But I mean. LaMelo Ball, go play in Australia.
But he also could have played with UCLA, but I don't know. LaMelo Ball is a special case because of Lonzo and his dad.
I know, but I'm just saying, it's going to get harder and harder. I think for recruiters to convince kids to go to college.
Yeah, it's already happening. There's a couple 4 or 5 players that are top recruits that didn't. They went to the G League instead.
Yeah. It's going to get tough. I mean, the bad thing is we're just not going to see those superstars in the NCAA tournament anymore.
Yeah.
You will not see Zion. You will not see an Anthony Davis.
Which are every 5 years they
Correct.
come.
Yeah, it's not an every year thing, but you just won't see them anymore. I don't think. Unless they really want to go to college.
But it's still crazy how it's still entertaining. If LaMelo Ball is not on UCLA, but still watching UCLA, it's still just as
yeah. They're still going to be studs.
Yeah,
they're still going to be studs in college basketball. There's no doubt about it because, I mean, the G League's only going to take the top of the top. They're not going to take your. I mean, nothing against Tyrese, but Tyrese Halliburton wasn't a huge recruit.
No, he was Mr. Basketball in Wisconsin, but. Still wasn't
a
3-star.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
It is. But, yeah, I mean, you're still going to get people that turn out in college and then still get drafted very high just because they just didn't get the light that they should have gotten in high school.
And I think, the fanhood of, Iowa and Iowa State, they're, superheroes. But, if they go to, Kentucky, there's,
average.
Another guy. They get new guy coming in.
Yep.
If George never came, like George Naz, Matt Thomas, Monte, they will always be legends. Like Tinsley and Marcus Fizer, legends.
Yeah. I mean, when I was down in Stillwater this football season, I ran into George Niang at the bar. I mean, just a legend.
Yeah.
And everyone knows it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in Stillwater, Oklahoma, and I mean, it's packed with Iowa State fans. Obviously, the bar was, but I mean, whenever he walked in the door, just an absolute legend. I mean,
you're not going to get that in the G League.
No, you're not even going to be known.
That's like what Iowa State can offer. Like, which I never really got. Like, maybe it's the pressure. Like, there's players that really couldn't handle it. Like, I don't think really Talon could handle it. But he was like, Talon was not Talon. I'm saying like Lindell, because Talon was like 17 when he came to Iowa State.
Yeah, he was so young. He's still so young.
Yeah, and like
he was 18 and he won a.
Lindell really didn't handle it very well.
No, I mean,
is it his fault or like his situation that he was put in? Because Tyrese came in and like, who the hell saw that coming? Correct.
Yeah, it was very tough. I mean, he handled it all right coming off the bench, being that high of a recruit. Which
is just a bummer because he's probably one of the best, most just talented players to ever play here that never like bloomed at Iowa State.
Yeah, it's true.
Just like and like another thing that we haven't really talked about is like another aspect that I haven't heard is like if we get decently good again, like the advantage of Iowa State fans in Kansas City, like if we're borderline
South,
if we're borderline tournament team, we can go to the tournament and then win the whole thing.
Yeah, being like a 5, as long as we can just avoid that. We just need to get out of that Wednesday.
Yeah.
If we can just make it out of the Wednesday games.
Have we ever won a Wednesday?
No, I know. We just need to avoid them. Like, just be good enough to get out of those.
I don't think we've ever won one.
We cannot win those to save our lives.
I think.
Obviously, there's a reason why we're in them, because we're terrible.
It's either we're really good or really bad.
Correct. If we can get that 4 or 5 seed, watch out. Watch out.
Because people are like the fans are going to be like, I don't know. We already know it's going to happen in football, but like people are going to be like craving Hilton. We haven't seen it. We haven't been there in so long.
I know. This football season, if we can open up, get everyone back in there.
It'll be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Like the Iowa game. The Iowa game next year for basketball should be lit.
Yeah, and then turn into Hilton. Open it all up. It will be rocking.
Yeah, and which many people have been missing.
I mean, just walking into Hilton this last year, and it was just,
just like a
gross.
Funeral. Just like a funeral.
Yes, gross.
Yeah. Anyways, what else we gotta talk about? You like I really talked about you went to the Big 12 championship game.
Oh,
let's talk about the game, but like let's just talk about like the leading up to it. Like,
we talking
just like the anticipation. Like, what'd you guys do?
We talking football or are we talking
football?
Okay, sorry.
Like you're the only one that I know went.
Yeah, it was a good time. So my biggest regret of that whole trip was I wasn't there long enough. So the game was on a Saturday. I flew down Friday morning.
Yeah.
So I got there, I don't know, like 11 in the morning Friday. And I mean, you just walk through the Dallas airport, which is a huge airport.
Yeah.
And I mean, to go back a step, in Des Moines, filled with Iowa State fans, just packed.
Yeah.
And this is during COVID. Like the airports were normally dead.
Yeah.
But just absolutely packed with Iowa State fans. I mean, there was, I don't know, 5 or 6 flights that were just packed with Iowa State fans. So I mean, I knew it was going to be a good time just leaving Des Moines and get to Dallas, and I met up with a couple of my other friends, and we hit Fort Worth, and
that was a good time.
They know how to have a good time down there. And so we went out in Fort Worth, just packed with Iowa State fans.
Mm-hmm.
The cattle drive or whatever the heck they have down there, good time. And then they have that, I can't recall what the bar's name is, but We walked through there for a little bit. Very good time. And then game day, the group that I was with, we got a tailgate right outside of the AT&T Stadium, and we got there. I don't even remember what time's kickoff was. Was it 11? I think it was.
That was 11.
And I don't know. We got there 6 a.m. or something like that. And it's just tailgates.
Feel pretty good about half
my
game
gosh.
time.
Yeah, it's a good time. And we get into the game, start so slow.
To start the worst way possible.
Oh, and then we come back, and then the heartbreak.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would 110% go back.
Yeah, I think we'll be back next year for
Yeah,
sure.
110% go back to the Big 12 championship game. But my biggest thing is I would go down longer.
Like Thursday or...
Yeah, I wouldn't. Because I left Sunday morning. I'd still do that because I was ready to go home.
Yeah.
But I would have went down like Wednesday night, have all day Thursday, all day Friday, and then Saturday game day, and then Sunday. Because even after the game, we went to Texas Live, which is the bar right next to AT&T Stadium. I mean, even after a loss, Iowa State fans know how to party.
We don't. Yeah, we are not.
We are not
shy of losing.
No.
Like when we lose,
even when we lose, we can still have a damn good time.
Yeah, we've had many years of practice.
Yep. And the one big thing is I've never drive down there. 12-hour drive, not for me. I can have a 1.5 hour flight. 1.5 hour flight. I was on a plane at 8 a.m. Out of Dallas. I was back in Des Moines by 10.
Yeah, that's
10 a.m. I was back asleep in my house by noon. So
yeah, you can't really beat that.
No.
But yeah.
But then even the Big 12 championship for basketball in Kansas City, I went to the last time when we won it in, where would that have been?
2019, 2018?
Yes. When Steve's last Big 12.
Taylor and
yes.
Tyrese,
yes.
That was fun.
I went down there, and we were just planning on, because we had the Thursday game, and we just packed for Thursday. We got down there Wednesday night because we didn't play, and then Thursday, Friday, we were going to come back Friday, but we said if we keep winning, we're going to stay. So we packed like 2 pairs of clothes.
Really?
Yeah, and kept winning. Get to Saturday, and we're wearing clothes for the third time, and I mean, but Hilton South is
can't beat it.
No,
it's awesome. Which hopefully it comes back.
It's back. I'm gonna call it right now. It's not a bold prediction because I feel like everyone's saying it, but we're back.
I think and hopefully
get a few more pieces. Just need a few more pieces.
2 more spots.
Fill it in, and I think we will be off and running and ready to take back the Big 12 in the way that we had been.
At the top. Hopefully.
Not at the. I mean, it's going to be tough. I mean, your Kansas is always going to be good. Your Baylor is going to be good. But
it's like the Texas and the West Virginia. We have to
we need to take them back.
Yeah, which
because we should.
Huggins has to be at the point where he's going to retire because he's been there for a while. We usually own West Virginia when we're good.
I mean,
we must be twice this year.
Yeah, I was going to say we were close this year.
Yeah,
and we always. I mean, it was just such a bad year. I mean, it was hard
in every aspect.
Yeah, it was hard to even watch anything.
All right, well. We'll wrap this up, and we'll have. I think me and my dad are going to do a heartbreak series of the Seneca Wallace run game since he was there. We'll probably do that this week.
Heck yeah,
we'll have that out, and I think we're going to start a new series called to alter that since that's pretty negative. We'll probably do a positive. We'll call it Sweet Caroline series. Go over some good games.
Good games. Football,
basketball.
Okay, fair.
Which I wrote down a couple. We got quite a few.
Oh, we've got good games.
We got a lot of good games.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, just within the past 4 years.
Like the last 10 years, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah. You'll be able to find some.
Yep. So you guys look forward to that, and thanks for listening.